insurance companies and what they suggest. So I like where you're thinking. Thank you.
We can definitely tell how the vehicle is being driven. So for somebody that doesn't know how to drive stick shift, if they're in first gear and they go past 3, 4, 5,000 RPMs without shifting, it's definitely going to trigger an alert to the manager. And I've been in the valet industry a little over 10 years. The majority of the companies do a driving test, to make sure that that person can operate stick shift. I've even seen it to where now the valet companies are putting a little note on the ticket saying stick shift, so that the drivers know before they go get a car that it's stick shift. So if they don't know how to drive stick shift, they give it to somebody else that does. But we would be able to track their driving habit, especially if they're accelerating too much in first gear or second gear. That's a great question. So the question was, what's the incentive to the drivers to incentivize them to use the product and to pay for the product? So correct. So we created an incentive program that goes with the device. So the top 3 drivers from each location will actually get a cash bonus. We're going to rank our drivers through the various reports that we have coming in. The data will actually rank them as who's the safest and who's the worst driver. So in the valet industry, for claims, you'll find out that you can try to give them a bonus, you can try to give them free lunch, whatever, but that doesn't give them really an incentive. And we used to use an incentive program called Safety Bingo, that every day that you would go without an accident, $2 would be into the pot, and then you would play bingo until somebody won and they would get that money. The problem is, if one person has an accident, it punishes everybody. With this device is everybody's kind of working together as a team, but being ranked individually.
And just to add on, when you have over 200 employees, it is very hard to incentivize every single person. And so this system actually formalizes it and gives everybody an equal chance of performing well. Fiona?
Along those lines, any ideas competing between groups? Overall, we should tell set the best valet record.
Yes. So the question was, any ideas of the groups competing with each other? That would be up to the valet company. We can certainly provide the data for them and suggest it to them, but we have nothing structured on our end, to compare properties. That's a good question. So she was asking, what happens within the next couple of years when cars are being equipped more with devices. The truth of the matter is there's always going to be new cars with new technology coming out, but there's always going to be cars on the road from 20, 30, 10, 15 years ago, which we'll be able to, to cater to. We're just going to have to evolve as the market evolves.
Right now you're relying on a port that's roughly 20 years old. I think you said 96 is what you said?
Yeah, any vehicle with 96.
As these things change, as the data becomes more valuable to other companies, typically these ports change. I come from consumer electronics where the same iPhone charger works until the 5, and all of a sudden everyone has to re-up. What kind of contingency plan do you have if that port changes within the next 3 to 4 years?
So the question is, as cars change and as technology updates and as they keep changing chargers on us constantly and annoying us, what are we going to do in order to keep up to date and up to trend? And I think that's a really good question. And I think that's very similar to, you know, the industry trends and where they're going. To be honest, we're working with our company out in Canada to make sure that we're going to be on top of those trends. But right now, we don't really see that much indications that the OBD2 port jack is going to change very much. Everything else will change, but that has not changed yet.
When you put in advice collecting lots of data, some of which, you know, to the outside eye, you wouldn't see like the number. As a manager looking at all that data, imagine that the first couple days are going to be like a flood, and those triggers are going to go off all the time until people kind of get with the program. What type of training are you doing for that manager so that they're not reacting every single second, and instead reacting in a way that creates a more positive environment?
So the question is, how are we working with management to ensure that they're getting proper training to address the situations? Through our process, we're actually, with our setup fee, we actually go out to the property and spend, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 days with the actual property, to where we're going to be on the drive with them. We're going to be coaching them through the entire process to help their valets understand how it works, but also on the back end to help out management and help them be proactive instead of reactive when situations come up. And they have the ability to set up their the alerts, whether they want them through text messages, whether they want it through email. And you know, if they don't want their email flooded every time that an alert comes in, we could set it up to where it's once a day when they get the daily report.
We've got time for one more question. I'm gonna go with the, sorry, she had her hand up for a long time.
I have a question about the time. You said that the port could be anywhere 3 feet within the steering wheel. That takes you quite a ways in a car. And there's a ton of different models out there. So I've had my car 3 years. I don't know where that port is. Do you know where it is when they go over? Like, they're gonna have to learn so many different areas, right?
So the question is, well, 3 feet's really far for a car in terms of where you're going to find the OBD2 port. And to be honest, I didn't even know where the OBD2 port was either until we started working on this. So actually, with experience, this is something that's with valet drivers, you kind of get more and more experience as you start driving. So now if you just ask me, where's a BMW's lock and unlock button, I was like, I can tell you exactly within a second and show you where it is, and that's just coming from experience. The same thing is what we're theoretically will hypothesize happen with the OBD2 port. I can't say 100% sure that that's going to happen, but that is the theory. Yeah, is repetitive action, so you're going to be able to find it really fast. So Teslas, you know, we've driven 1,000 of them now, and so now we know exactly how to drive it, exactly know how powerful it is, and to be careful. So the valet drivers will figure it out as they keep going in more and more cars. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just to add on that, that was a concern, and that was my biggest concern as being in the industry for 10 years. You know, if you think 20, 30 seconds per every car that is going to delay you. But when you see the value of what it does at the end of the day, you know, to your revenue that's coming in, it's not being flushed out on claims. And then also it becomes repetitive. The more you do it, the more you're going to see where it is. And then at hotels, about 60% of the cars they drive are rentals, and it's typically the same models. The Chevy Impalas, the Altimas, the Malibus, it's usually the same type of vehicles, so guys will get in the rhythm of knowing where it is.
So those are the last questions. We would love to talk to everybody, so we'll be off to here in the corner if you guys want to come talk to us. And if you don't get a chance to talk to us, I'll be sad, but we have business cards up on the front desk if you want to email or call us. Thank you so much, guys. We love all the questions. Thank you.